Afternoon. How are we all doing? Welcome back to another afternoon of fun. Afternoon, Ian, Champagne, Julio, Evil, Sarah, Martin, Fletch, Gregors, Peter. How are we doing? So, yeah, big moves today. Huge moves today. New Zealand dollar. Anyway, 225 ADR. We don't often get there on the Aussie, on anything really. But yeah, 225 ADR. Nice mean reversion going in at the moment on that one. Although I'm not sure if this is going to peter out or not, so we'll have to wait and see. But all these New Zealand's huge moves today. Afternoon, Fletch. I can't remember where I got to. Emac, Marion, Baggy. I need to draw a little line underneath. So this afternoon we are on for the US GDP, preliminary GDP figures coming out at 1:30. So just over 10 minutes. So for those of you that weren't in the live room this morning, we had the CPI figures for the Australian dollar and the New Zealand interest rate, which was unchanged. So potential weakness moving forward in the Australian dollar. So Aussie obviously is coming down quite hard across the board. We've got ADR hits on all Aussie pairs today. I suspect we will see continued weakness, but not any big stuff, but just potentially sort of grindy down now on the Australian dollar, because it means that they've got an opportunity to reduce interest rates a little bit quicker, because inflation is coming down a little bit faster than expected. Still not massively fast. They're still on 4.1%. It is coming down quick though, so we will see what happens with that one, but certainly not bullish Australian dollar. New Zealand dollar, this was a complete knee-jerk reaction today, 5.5%. It was what we've been talking about for ages, what they forecast, what everybody was expecting. So you give them the result they're expecting. They factored that in already, and it goes boom and collapses. So this is not a real move. It's unlikely we will suddenly just do that. Yeah. It's much more likely we'll do that, because there's no reason for that massive knee-jerk reaction to an as expected result we're all anticipating, waiting for, and already priced into the market. So makes absolutely no sense. So there's good mean reversion opportunities on all New Zealand dollar pairs today. There's RSI extensions all over the place. There's ADR extensions all over the place. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't get a return to origin move, but at least a 50% retracement on that, even if it is just going to hold for a little bit. So bit of a knee-jerk reaction. Preliminary GDP this afternoon for the US dollar. Last GDP was 3.3 with a drop in GDP. So the forecast today is for that to remain unchanged. So 3.3 to be expected. So unlike interest rate and inflation figures, GDP is a byproduct of inflation and interest rates. So it is a leading indicator that they use to normally determine whether or not they should be adjusting interest rates and controlling inflation more. But because of the current climate where we are all dropping interest rates, regardless whether this comes out positive or negative has very little impact on market movement forwards. So if it comes out ridiculously different to forecast, we'll probably get a big move. But if it's one, within a percentile or two, yeah. So if we get a 3.5 or a 3.3, we'll probably get a move, but it shouldn't be a sustained one. So I'm not anticipating massive change on it, and I'm not anticipating massive movement, but we'll see what happens. We've got G20 meetings all day. There's been no news today at all, and that's the rest of the news. So this is basically the news from the overnight. There's the New Zealand dollar rates and the statement. New Zealand basically didn't say anything about increasing or decreasing. It's just business as usual. Everything looks like it's starting to go in the right direction. We'll be data driven and we'll wait. So as I said, that is a massive reaction to absolutely no information. So I doubt it's going to hold. So you can fade and mean revert everything. there's no other news today at all. We've had some earnings coming out. We've had some ECB statements coming out, but nothing exciting. Bit of Fed news, nothing exciting. So, yeah, nothing exciting. Story of our lives at the moment. So this morning with the indices, the DAX hedged. As you can see, it's just a joke, this market at the moment. Absolute joke. Yeah. Can you do with that? Nothing. So I'm hedged in the DAX this morning. We haven't gone anywhere. We literally haven't gone anywhere. The FTSE absolutely collapsed. Didn't get on the FTSE today. The pre-market range was too tight. The post-market range was over 20%, and it still found legs to get down to ADR. So really strong move from the FTSE today in the negative direction. Didn't manage to get on it, though, because the ranges were all too big or too small. So normally what happens when you get these types of ranges is you get accumulation and can't do much, a bit like the DAX. But we did manage to get a decent move out of this. So if you did trade this one today, I mean, you would have had to change the default settings on the EA to trade it, but 185 was the open. You've had 460 off of it, so pretty much 2R, just about. So that's really all you got, 2R. So, I mean, you know, on a move that size to get to ADR and only get 2R, not great, is it? Not setting the world on fire. So, yeah, I'll see what happens with the US indices this afternoon. But so far this morning on the US, bit of a down day across the board. So we've been accumulating for the last 4 hours. So drop with a FTSE, basically. Not a lot else. So there we go. So we'll watch the news unfold in just over 5 minutes. Afternoon, Neo, Alex, Kennelly. The new EA is up on the marketplace. You can't buy it yet. Can't get it yet. But I've got it up onto the marketplace. So I will be testing a few more bits and pieces, but it's all verified. I've just got to write all the documentation, get everything done on it. So, but that is proper live testing again today. Oh, we've done some DD control. Excellent. So US dollar CAD. Marvelous, it's working. Point 0.2, closed half out. That was a 0.3, closed 1/3. Superb. Let me just quickly do some maths. Let's come down. So 5, been about 10, about 1%. Job done. Cool. Right. So there we go. So ADRs today, there's a lot. There's no point in going through each one individually because basically the Australian dollar's collapsed off the back of CPI. So those are all mean reversion bounce opportunities. I've banked quite a lot today. I'll go through that in a minute, but that's 150 ADR. So there's a good chance that we might pull back on this one. However, the Australian dollar, I think, is probably the one that could continue to run. So the if you want to play mean reversion trades today, I think probably New Zealand ones are probably the better ones to take. But the Aussies are all extended as well. You can see how extended New Zealand is. It's absolutely shot. If you look at it on RSI as well, we've got big extensions on RSI on everything. So everything New Zealand and Aussie has moved today. So far today, 5 minutes to the news, bank 1.9% on H1M5. I went through all these this morning, so I won't go through them all again. But I've basically, where are we, CAD Yen? So I've closed out one of the CAD Yens today, and that's continued to drop down. I just wanted to reduce my exposure on this yen. In fact, I might get out of that CAD yen. Yeah, I'm just going to get out of the CAD yen completely, just to reduce exposure on the yen. So out the CAD yen. Everything else is fine. Yeah, CAD yen, I'm out of. Aussie dollar yen, got out of one of those today as well. Oh, no, I didn't. That's a closed buy because I didn't want to go long. Swiss yen was the other one, I think. Or was it? No. I'm just trying to see what I did today. Yeah, Swiss yen I closed out. I looked at this one again in the live room this morning. That was the entry from last week. We haven't gone anywhere. I'm not interested in having so much on the yen. And I closed out a load of New Zealand dollar yen as well today on the news, and that's continuing to drop. I can close the rest of that New Zealand dollar yen, almost $160. So if this comes down a little bit more today, I'll close out the rest of that. I've got 2 more positions left on that New Zealand dollar yen, which I just need a little bit more of a drop. Another quarter of an ADR, and I'll be out flat on the New Zealand dollar yen as well. Aussie dollar yen is already in profit. I'm going to hold the Aussie yen, though, still. I'm going to wait and see how far we get the rest of the day, because I think there's still a little bit more legs on this Aussie. That was a really bad CPI number. So I'm going to hold on to that one. That's a bit camp, wasn't it? I'm going to hold on to that one. So 30% drawdown, 6% banked on the month. ADR reversals closed out 2% today, 3.5% yesterday, 13% banked on the month. Everything else is back in control on that one, so I'm just waiting for the market to move, mainly Swiss franc. Aussie dollar, US dollar yen. 3 minutes to the news. US dollar yen, I've taken another aggressive drawdown control position this morning. So the last aggressive drawdown control position I took, see it there, was there. Yeah. And that pushed down nicely over a period of a week. So I got out of that one and did drawdown control. I had an aggressive drawdown control that failed there because the news spike went the wrong way. So I've just taken another aggressive, exactly the same location as that one, again this morning, because we are holding this high. So we've hit this high. Yeah. Tested it. We've just retested this morning, pushed down, pushed up, holding. So you can see my stop is above that weekly high. I'm willing to take a risk on this on the news this afternoon. So I'm hoping we get negative GDP figures and this will drop fast so I can do some more drawdown control. If it rallies and goes above ADR, it's going to cost me $650. But I've got to get out of some of this yen. It's just costing so much money in swaps at the moment to hold this thing. So that's my gamble at the moment. News is about to come out. Watch Euro US. See where we go. 40 seconds. So yeah, banked a load on that this morning. Hedging, banked 5% this morning. Banked 4% yesterday, up to 35% on the month on that one. Everything back in control there as well. So just waiting for stuff to move now. Everything's started to go in the right direction. All the profit take moves we've been waiting for are starting to sort of trickle in. So we just need to make sure we get a continuation on them, really. But last day of the month, tomorrow. So it would be very nice if we can get another day's worth of ADR moves on the yen, the Swiss. Pretty much that's all I need. Yeah, and that'll make a nice end to the month, but been a very squeezy one. I'm not even going to look at it, but I'm pretty sure the GDP figure is 3.3. So yeah, very, very, as I said, if you're 1.1 percentile out, it's doesn't make him a lot of difference. So no news. We'll give the market 10 minutes or so and just see if it decides to react. That is a negative number. So if it is going to react, you would expect it to be negative US, which it looks like it's trying to start a move negative US, but not really going anywhere at the moment. US dollar CAD this morning. I got into. That'd be good if that also starts to drop. 150 ADR on US dollar CAD. Not quite sure why we got such a strong move on the US this morning, but we did. Afternoon, day trader. Yeah, not a lot of movement. So if anything, this is going to be a negative move on the US. But I suspect because it's an ever such a slight miss, we'll probably get something along those sorts of lines. No big reaction. So next news is basically tomorrow for the US. We've got the unemployment claims along with the CAD GDP tomorrow afternoon at 1:30. So going to be on at the same times tomorrow. It's going to be 8 o'clock tomorrow morning and 1:15. So we'll be covering the GDP for the Swiss franc. And we'll be covering GDP for the CAD and unemployment claims tomorrow. Just thinking about making a move, isn't it? Not really. Oh, well. I'm not going to go through all the ADRs today. There's not a lot of point in going through all the ADRs, basically, because there are so many of them, and they are all the same, basically. It's just New Zealand dollar. So huge hit to the downside. Absolutely no reason for this trade, for that move, rather. So mean reversion, basically, back up to there within the next 48 hours is what I suspect. We looked at a couple of examples of previous trades on the news, on news like this, where we get a big 150 ADR or so move when there is absolutely no reason for it, and they just undo themselves. So it's just a case of waiting to see whether or not it's. You can see one on the chart here. Look. Yeah, it's just a case of waiting to see whether or not they hold it for a couple of days and then start the reversion, or whether it is a sort of 48-hour V-shaped recovery. So one or the other. You either get, that's an A-shaped recovery off the news. That's a V-shaped recovery off the news. That's a multi-day V-shaped recovery. Same as that. That's what we're going to get, because that is the same as we had this morning. Pointless. There's absolutely no reason for that move whatsoever. And there's no reason for this one today. So I would expect to be back up here either within 48 hours or at this time next week, basically. So all of these New Zealand's are good mean reversion opportunities. So your RSI extensions on them, so you can take an H1 M5 mean reversion play, or you can take the ADR reversal. It's the same thing, basically, at the end of the day. So the Aussie, however, all these Aussie dollar moves where we've got these same sorts of moves on the Australian dollar, those have been caused by a twofold effect. First of all, you've got the Australian CPI figure coming out as negative, and then you've got the New Zealand dollar dropping, which will drag the Australian dollar because they move in sync. So the Aussie one, however, is a real reason to short it. So with the Aussie, if you're going to mean revert that on H1 or M5, or on H1 M5 or on ADR reversals, you could get a flag break move. So we could just sort of do that and then drop. Whether or not it gets back up to here before it puts a new leg in will be the difference between you either getting in and out with one position or getting in and having to take multiple positions to get back out on the bigger leg. But you have to wait and see. So these are potentially all profit take moves now starting on this previous leg. And obviously, if you stick a fib on this and you look for a 38.50 retracement, which is typically what the market does in market structure. There's my fib gone. Yeah. So we are sitting at 38.50 right now. Yeah. So there's your 38. There's your 50. That's your 61.8. That's a deep market structure pullback. So it could bounce from here. However, the fact that CPI has now come down, and we've had a bit of a Swiss franc move on this one particularly, we may well go a little bit further down. The other thing that's happened today is we've had some Swiss franc strength, which has obviously helped the Aussie dollar Swiss, but the CAD Swiss, as you can see, come down pretty hard. Euro Swiss hasn't done an awful lot because the Euro and the Swiss moved together. Pound Swiss come down nicely, and the US dollar Swiss. So we've, well, that one didn't because the US dollar was rallying, but as you can see, the US dollar didn't get far because the Swiss franc was rallying too. Sideways. So there's a fair decent amount of strength coming through in the Swiss franc as well today, which is good because I've got lots of shorts against the Swissy at the minute. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much analysis really I can do that I didn't do this morning. So if you want to have a look at what I was talking about, it's pretty much what I've just covered and skimmed over there. It's all in the live room this morning. There's a really good bit on back testing in the live room this morning as well. The end of the live room, we went into a little bit more detail about back testing, putting together multiple back tests into a portfolio using Quant Analyzer to show a portfolio approach to strategies, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to do a proper video on it at some point, but it's worth watching this morning's live room, the last sort of 20 minutes or so. If you want to, that's quite interesting on back testing. Somebody's talking about back testing at the moment in the Telegram group, and as I keep saying, backtesting is just what it is. You are testing out a strategy on how it would have worked in history on the data that you have. The data that you have, the data that I have, the data that the guy sitting next to you has may well be different. You're going to get completely different results. Spread will affect it. Slippage will affect it. Whether a candle opens at a specific time of day will affect it. Yeah, some brokers have a midnight candle, some brokers have a 1 a.m. candle, some brokers have a 3 a.m. candle, some brokers don't open a market until 9 o'clock in the morning. All going to affect your ADR, all going to affect your strategy, all going to affect every instrument you have. The RSI reading on this account and the RSI reading on my Darwin X account are different because the movement of price is different, the average daily ranges are different. Your strategy is going to be different. So we covered that in a bit of detail this morning, but you know, I can only publish tests that I do. Do your own tests, do your own due diligence. You're going to trade with your money. You should be heavily invested in your strategy that you're trading, not somebody else's. Did you say that the new EA is on the market? It is uploaded, but I've got to write a load of content. I've got to write a manual. I will need to do a video, but that can come after. But I have got to write a manual, and I've got to do all the screenshots and everything. So I'm going to be cracking on with that this afternoon, but it's more than half a day's work. So can I add my broker to the tick data suite? No, you can only use the ones that publish tick data. Anybody? No, it's not possible to buy it. No. And anybody that publishes tick data, you will get through tick data suite. Yeah, there's a list here. Lucascopy, TrueFX, Alpari, hisdata.com, which isn't a broker, but FXCM, Bitcoin charts, if you want to trade that crap. RAN, FX Open, and Darwin X. Notice it's a list of big reputable brokers that publish tick data. If you're with a what is it somebody posted in Discord today? Made me laugh. I didn't laugh in the Discord server, but the name of the broker, FX Pig. I'm sorry, I'm not trading with FX Pig. Notice they are not in the reputable broker list. Yeah, they might have cheap swaps, but there's probably a reason for that. As somebody pointed out in Telegram, the Fivers spread their account and took away their funded account the other day because that's what they do. Brokers do the same thing. There's a new EA? Yeah, it's position trading EA. Afternoon, Brian. Afternoon, Matt. Can't wait to start slapping them manual buttons around and buying Lambos made of Rolexes. You can buy a Lambo that's made of diamonds. There is one of those. Look at that bad boy. Russian girl. So an oligarch's missus has got a Lamborghini covered in, well, I suspect it's Swarovski crystal rather than diamond, but there's a few of them actually. I didn't realise. Oh, we need to get one of these. I can afford one of these because I'm a trader. Oh, I can definitely afford that. Maybe not in pink. It's got to be black, isn't it? I bet her name's Daria as well. There you go. Excuse me. Afternoon, Rico. I bought the tick data suite yesterday. Yeah. So the other thing you've got to be aware of with tick data is you need to make sure it matches your broker chart. And this is where some people go wrong. And I suspect the person that's getting funny results in Telegram is doing the same. Yeah. So if you look at the pound US dollar here, and you look at the pound US dollar when you're back testing with, say, Dukascopy's data, you've got to make sure the GMT offset is correct as well. Because if my broker uses UTC plus 2, which is GMT plus 2, basically, you can change these times around and it will draw your candlesticks based on different points of time. Yeah. So if you set yours up with GMT plus nothing and I set mine up with GMT plus 2 and run the same test, we're going to get different results. Yeah. So again, this is all stuff that you need to be aware of and you need to do, but you need to do this. My job is not to teach you how to use other people's software. Google, it's really handy if you want to find anything out. But you know, there's lots of things that goes into making backtest results different. But at the end of the day, if you get your broker chart there and you run a test, I don't know if I've got decent data on the, can't remember when my data goes up to. Let's go for the 25th of Feb to the 27th of Feb, using hourly charts. Yeah, so if you run a test here, this isn't going to take any trades. Oh my God, it's even the market reverse. I didn't even want the market reversal at CA, but anyway. So put the charts side by side, yeah, and see if they look the same. Yeah. Data, exactly the same. This is my broker, Robo Forex. This is Dukascopy data, not my broker. But if visually this looks exactly the same as that, that's as good as you're getting, because any tests you run here are going to be the same as what your broker's candlesticks would have painted. That's the important thing. If these candlestick highs are up here, my broker's is here, you ain't going to get the same results in a back test in a live environment, are you? It's just a case of common sense. Eyeball it. Does it look the same? Yeah? Look at that. It's the same. So can I trust this data? Yeah. Now, change this over to a different broker and use someone else's data. I haven't got anybody else's data. I've got Darwin X, but I think that only goes up to 9th of February. But change it to Alpari's data. If Alpari's data is different, you're not going to get the same result. So use your heads, backtest, visually check. Yeah, you know, this is, for me, it's common sense stuff. It's, but it comes from a programming background. Yeah, when I was in college back in the 1990s, I remember GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. It's a programming term. If you stick garbage into your programming, you're going to get garbage out again. Data, use garbage data. Your testing results are going to be garbage. Just common sense to me, but I guess, you know, maybe it isn't to everybody, but you've got to have faith in your back tests, and that's the only way you're going to do it is by checking it yourself. Does it look right? Yeah? Right, then trust it. Does it look right? No, it doesn't look anything like my broker. My broker's candles open at midnight. If their candles open at 2 a.m., it ain't going to be the same. Choose your heads. But anyway, I will do a video on it. And I'm trying to make some new videos, but I'm trying to keep the content short. I have, as you probably noticed in here, I have trouble shutting up. I can't do short videos. Everybody keeps telling me my videos need to be less than 15 minutes long. It's my introduction. But that sort of thing is something you only set up once. Once you set that up, that's it. It's set up. You don't need to touch it ever. So it's take an hour to check it. I think you have an Arab sheikh or a Russian mobster. You have to be an Arab sheikh or a Russian mobster to qualify for one of those, yeah. You need a slightly larger disposable income than I have. That is for sure. So I just heard an alert go off. Where was that alert? Did I just shut the alert window without even looking at it? I don't know. Yeah, hedging as well. As I said, I closed the load out on that today. Everything's basically got back under control today. So fingers crossed. We start a move on the yen. We start a move on the Swiss. By Friday, we'll have a load of money in the bank. What did I just walk into? Pigs and diamond Lambos. Yeah. And don't forget to do that. Somebody basically, Mark put a list up in the Discord channel of multiple different brokers with their overnight swap fees, just as a sort of comparison. I don't actually know where the data's come from. So how accurate it is, I have no idea. But it just made me laugh. Some of the brokers on there, FP Markets, FXGT, never heard of them, FX Pig, FXTM I've heard of, Fusion Markets I've heard of, FX Pro, Go Markets, I've heard of them, IC Markets, they're obviously one of the big ones. Just to Trade, that's a bit like EasyJet. What do you think you're going to get with Just to Trade? Just Markets, again, anybody that puts the word just or easy in front, nah. Light Forex, Monitor Markets, Multibank, Oanda, obviously, we know. Octa FX, we know. Octima, PU Prime, don't know. And Vantage and Robo. Robo are in that list anyway, are the highest swaps. I don't know. The cost of doing business, I don't really. If I shop around for a different broker that gives me a swap, which once a week saves me $15 to $20, for me, it's more hassle to withdraw all my money out of my broker, set up a new broker that I'm not sure I've ever traded with before, test them, see if their spreads are decent, see if they have ridiculous overnight candles, make sure that their charts are the same as the charts that I do all my testing on. I'd rather just stay where I am. Too much hassle. Anyway, afternoon, Virginia, Kennelly, Euro New Zealand. If there's any pairs you want to look at, let me know. Euro New Zealand's still running. So New Zealand dollar's still weakening at the moment. Or is that the euro pumping? We can't really tell against the US. This is euro on the move, not New Zealand dollar. So euro's having a little bit of a rally. Canadian dollar looks like it's having a bit of a rally. US dollar Swiss coming down nicely. So yeah, Euro New Zealand. I've got one short on at the moment. Which account am I in? H1M5. So this is the H1 entry this morning. So I'm looking for a test of the high from yesterday. So looking for a 50% fill on the propulsion gap. I suspect it could get down there. The euro is slightly bullish at the moment. Mainly off the back of the US confirming a June interest rate rise. and the ECB confirming that they are unlikely to move before the US. So meaning obviously bullish until June. Well, so not bullish until June. Should stop saying bullish. Nothing's bullish at the moment. Everything's coming down. It's just a case of who comes first and who comes strongest, but not bearish at the moment, basically, which means it's either going to be able to rally against stuff or it's going to be neutral against stuff. So it's only rallying at the moment because New Zealand dollar's dropping. But you've got a lovely double top coming up, which is roughly 95. So it's an ADR away, basically. So first entry's there. Second entry will be off the double top bounce if it gets to it. We're sitting in this accumulation at the moment, so we may not even get through that propulsion gap. So we'll see. We might get some movement out that level there. It's a bit old, but we'll see. You got another backup support resistance there and a previous month's high as well. So you got a nice area of resistance coming up at the highs. And obviously you got that area there, which is last week, 2 weeks ago's high. So if that fails, we'll be holding it up to there. Yeah, that's... There's a beginning of the month, 3rd of January. Yeah, just weird. Why is that up there? Must be a wick there. I can't see. Anyway, you're in New Zealand. Yeah, 225 ADR. Yeah, so New Zealand dollar off the back of the news. Euro having a bit of a run. Perfect storm. Afternoon, Crom. Afternoon, David. Afternoon, Steve. So I haven't really got much else to cover this afternoon. Everything's rolling. Everything's moving. Up 6% there. Up 13% there. Euro odd. There we go. There's another Euro move on the way. That one's now 150 ADR. So, yeah. Everything's starting to roll. We've actually got a little bit of movement starting to kick in now, but whether or not this continues, we'll have to wait and see. It is the end of the month tomorrow. So end of month, end of quarter, we tend to get large moves in the market because the banks and institutions are leveling the books to get paid commissions. End of quarter is the big one. So next month will be the bigger move. It's also a triple witching next month as well. So we should get some decent movement, hopefully today, tomorrow, and obviously if it continues in this direction, fantastic. A couple of questions. I enjoyed taking any of the main indices long at RSI extensions. Have you not considered that? Yeah, I've got a set file on the Market Reversal Alerts EA that does exactly that. So if you go and look at the MRA EA, it's that one there. So this is the S&P strategy for the Market Reversal Alerts EA. It's a long-only strategy. It's designed to operate in a bull market. And basically, it just buys all the dips. Yeah. So whenever you get an RSI extension to the downside, take a reversal alert, and you just keep buying the dips. And as long as the market is manufactured to go long, which it always has been and always will be, unless we suddenly decide we would rather have our businesses lose money than make money, and our shareholders be happy investing money that they will get a lower return on, that is never going to stop happening. So this is exactly what we talked about this morning. Were you here this morning? Were you spying? We talked about this morning. I went through it in a bit of detail. Why indices go up and only go up. But anyway, so yeah, you just buy the dips. Exactly what Warren Buffett does. Every time it pulls back, he buys it. And if it comes further, he buys a bit more. If it comes further, he buys a bit more. If it comes further, he buys a bit more because he's got an endless pot of cash and he just waits for it to go up. And then he banks that and then goes and buys another Ferrari or another Ferrari team or whatever. Also on the new EA and even the MRAA EA, if you were in multiple positions and took off your last position and also did drawdown control, if the position continued to go against you, would it get? Also on the new EA and the MRAA, if you were in multiple positions and took off your last position and also did drawdown control, if the position continued to go against you, would it get? Oh, into another trade. Sorry, there's another line. Into another trade based off the ADR of the last position. Yes. So if you, yeah, so basically if I, so look at this, for example, here. Right, US dollar CAD. That is the next short position based on that entry, yeah? Watch this magic unfold. I'm going to close this position. Need to wait for the candle to close. Have I got it running on candle close? I must have. But that is where it was, yeah? The next short. Ta-da! Now the next short is there because that is your last position. That is the next short. Yeah, so if you close that position out, which I just did, the next short position was going to be there. But now because the last entry was there, the next short position is there. The lot size of that next entry, wherever it may be above that area, will be whatever you set that to plus whatever multiplier you use if you're using a multiplier. So all of the data is updated as you close stuff. If you shut half of that out, the next position would be based on whatever's left. Exactly the same as the market reversal alert CA does as well. Except this is just better. This is what I wanted to build. What I did build originally. This is what I built originally. Then it got turned into what it is. It's like having a beautiful child and then letting them have lots of plastic surgery and ending up looking like Madonna. Used to be pretty. Something went wrong. Wasn't there in the morning. Just got done watching the stream from this morning and then remembered he was getting on live again prior to the US news. Yeah. Is the new EA available? No, it's not available yet. If you've got, I have to say, if you've got the market reversal alert CA, Brian wants a towel. Off he goes to get an AI-generated Madonna with plastic surgery. If you've got the market reversal alert CA, this isn't really going to benefit you much. Unless you want the ability to do your own things. One of the reasons I'm putting this together is for me personally and to simplify everything. Yeah. So also I want people to be able to position trade. Don't forget, position trading is a methodology. It's a way of trading. It isn't RSI and ADR. Yeah. That's what I use. Yeah. But you can use anything you like. So I want people to be able to use position trading strategy with any strategy. And to be able to do that, you need an EA that can scale into the position according to your rules. And you need it to know that you've entered into a trade on your strategy. So this is what these buttons are going to do. Allow you to trade Bollinger Band strategies, allow you to trade MACD strategies. You can trade anything you like. Yeah. So I come in here and I go through nothing but H1M5 mean reversion and ADR, because that's what I've been trading for 5 years now, every year, every day. And that's all I do because it works for me. But it's not the be all and end all. You stick a Bollinger Band on this, there's an entry there. I use an RSI or ADR, but you could use a Bollinger Band. If you want to use Bollinger Bands, fine. You have your charts open. You have a dashboard that monitors Bollinger Bands. When it gives you an alert, you come in, you open the chart up, and you go sell. And then it goes, okay, no problem. If it moves down, I'll get you out of the trade. If it goes up, I'll position trade it for you. But the initial entry signal and condition can be absolutely anything under the sun. You could flip a coin. You could get your baby to crawl to a corner of the room. If it goes to that corner, go long. If it goes to that corner, go short. I don't care how you get into the market. How you get into the market has nothing to do with making money. It's what you do after that entry is taken. And that entry can be taken in any way, shape, or form. Market Reversal Alerts EA literally trades market structure reversals based on my strategy, which is elastic band theory. If you want to trade breakouts, do it. If your breakout fails, position trade out of that breakout. It's a way of getting out of cock-ups, basically. That's all it is. So that's what this is for. If you're happy with H1M5 mean reversion and ADR reversals, you don't need this. Because Market Reversal Alerts EA does it fine. I think there's better things that could be done with the Market Reversal Alerts, which is why I'm using a simpler entry mechanism. But again, whether an MA is better than a reversal alert is going to be dependent on whether or not the market drops after that signal's been given. Nothing to do with the market reversal alerts. Reversal alerts fail all the time. So the moving average crosses, Bollinger Bands re-entries, parabolic SAR entries, stochastics, MACD, CCI, you name it, it all fails. Doesn't it? Doesn't matter what you use. I'm just trying to build a tool that I can be more flexible with people with, which will help people just do what they want. I would love to put together a course. And one of the things I've got in the Discord channel is a channel basically called Stop Loss Strategies, which nobody's posted in yet, which is fine. But the idea of me putting that together was for people to put strategies in there that they use with stop losses. So maybe a strategy that you've tried or something like that. And then I can look at that and go, I can trade that on here with position trading and see if we can make it profitable. Because it won't be profitable because it uses stop losses. And if somebody posts a strategy and they think is profitable with a stop loss, I'll just build a quick EA and prove it's not profitable. Very easy, isn't it? But that's the idea of this, is to be flexible. Yeah, it's not the market structure reversal strategy I trade. I'm a position trader. I'm not trading one thing. I get in. If there's a bloody great big double top opportunity here, and I go, God, look at that rejection. That's definitely, look at the highs we've been making here. Yeah, that's definitely coming down to there, and it's going to make a new higher low here somewhere. Let's just short it down to there. I can't do that if we haven't got an RSI extension or it hasn't hit ADR. But now I can. Press the button. Done. That's what I want. Be able to be a bit more flexible, because there's so many missed opportunities that are bloody obvious that we don't take because I can't, because my accounts are literally for running these strategies. So US dollar rally, yeah. Well, no, US dollar's not rallying. It's dropping, not rallying. I think it will benefit me better. I do own the MRA. I can't even say it. I do own the MRA EA. However, I want to be able to look at the charts at nice extension levels and just say I like that. Exactly, yeah. There's one we looked at today. It's an ADR reversal we looked at today. And I said, if that gets to 125 ADR, that will be fantastic. Which one was it? I'm pretty sure it was a euro. That one. Yeah, so Euro CAD. I said this morning in the live room, no, it wasn't Euro CAD because it had already hit ADR. It must be something else. It wouldn't have been in New Zealand. It wouldn't have been an Aussie. Maybe it was that one. I'm sure it was that. Yeah. We looked at this one. I'm sure it was this. I can't remember why we would have been looking at this one, but anyway, I said if we hit 125 ADR on that today, that would be absolutely perfect because it would be a confluence with that. Yeah. But if we got to that level, which is just shy of 125 ADR, my market reversal alert CA at the moment is set up to take 125 ADR extensions with a reversal alert. If we pushed up here, for example, to that monthly high, yeah, and we saw price hit it, push through that level, and then pull back and put a lovely, great big shooting star in at 125 ADR, but it wouldn't give you a reversal alert until we were down there, I would look at that and go, there you go. There's the rejection. Looks like the limit orders are triggering. That looks like a good sell back down into here. I can take those trades. The moment my automation, which is how I want to do it, I don't want to trade manually because if you trade manually, you're just going to get yourself into all sorts of trouble. The automation would not allow that trade to happen. And I can't add buttons into the market reversal alert CA because it will just stop working. There's too much in there already. So, but you could also use the opening range breakout EA, the price action toolkit to do these sorts of trades, but obviously that won't position trade for you. So, my thinking on the new EA is it would be better for those of us with small accounts because we can just monitor all 28 pairs and just get into the ones we fancy. Yeah. So again, it would also be, as you've just said there, Steve, useful for people that are manually trading using the dashboards. There's a lot of them. Euro, God, look at Euro, New Zealand as well. Off the scale. I've got a long on that. And again, this is another problem with the market reversal alert CA, which I've only spotted twice. We looked at this one this morning as well. When you get one candle that is like over an ADR, it really confuses the market reversal alert CA. So that candle there, look, yeah, is 150 pips. The ADR is 90. So that's 150 ADR in one candle, which at the same time, it triggered an ADR hit in both directions and a reversal alert long. So it decided to go long. It's so rare you get a candle that big. Yeah, we get big candles on news, but 150% of ADR with a reversal alert, i.e. it has to have made a new low as that candle hits. Yeah, it's just one of those things that just doesn't happen. It will take a trade in the wrong direction. And I noticed it this morning with these New Zealand pairs. Aussie CAD has just hit ADR as well. So there we go. Got a long on there. I'm just going to take that long off because I don't want to be long. I'm short. Yeah, so stuff like that just won't happen either. But yeah, it'd be really good for people that use the dashboards to manually trade. And I'll show everybody how to set it up. Basically, the way that you need to set it up is on a VPS. You need to have every pair running on a VPS. If you're going to trade manually, that is. So you'd have every pair running on a VPS. And in the settings, all you would do in the settings basically is you would turn off RSI mean reversion strategy and you would turn off ADR reversal strategy, which means that it basically will not take any automated entries, but it will be monitoring for button presses. Yeah. And in your account that you trade with, this one being mine, I would have the EA set up to not trade those strategies either and have manual button trading only set to true. So what that means is basically when I press a button here, it takes a trade, and then the EA on the VPS takes over and manages the position for me. Yeah. So this is my analysis account. I can muck about here and do what I like, and the EA will just do absolutely nothing. It will draw in lines if there's existing trades on. However, it will draw in the next long position line, and everything that it needs to do, but it won't actually do anything on here because I've got it set in manual button only, which basically disables all automated functionality apart from buttons. So you have it running on a VPS and it sits there silently doing nothing, or you get it to automated trade, RSI and ADR reversals if you want to, but you got the flexibility of doing both. So it's exactly how I want the market reverse alert EA to work, but it's just not possible. Would you say you're of the belief that all stop loss strategies are not profitable? I don't know. No one's been able to show me one that is. Apart from momentum scalping strategies, yes. So anybody that's trading momentum scalping, yeah. Opening range breakout, basically. Yeah, I trade that. Well, I don't now. I trade SIH because I think it's more comfortable. But yeah, but no one's ever been able to. I've been trading since 1996. No, I haven't. 1999. 1998, actually. So I've done every course, bought every book, bought millions of EAs, bought millions of indicators. I've tested everything. I've built hundreds of EAs to backtest strategies to automate them for the purpose of testing whether or not they have a long-term edge. Nobody's been able to show me one that does. And every time somebody shows me one that they think is amazing, I build it, I backtest it, and it breaks. And there's always an Achilles heel in there. And the fact of the matter is, I think there are strategies that work long term. Yeah. So that's not strictly true. There are strategies that will work long term and have a long term edge. The problem with all strategies is they all have drawdown and they all have stagnation. That can last for months and in some strategy cases, years. So what you do when you test a strategy is you lose faith in it because it doesn't work enough to make you money. Yeah. Because you cannot have any strategy that works in all market conditions. There's only 3 market conditions. It's either breaking out, it's trending, or it's mean reverting. Yeah. And that is a mean reversion as well as that. Call it a range, call it whatever you want, or balance. But there's only 3 things it can do. It can go up, it can go down, and it can go sideways. There is no strategy that works in all 3 conditions. Breakout strategies work in breakout markets, in momentum markets. Mean reversion strategies work all the time in range-bound markets, but they fail in trending markets most of the time. Yeah. Breakout strategies fail in false breakouts, which become ranges. Trending strategies don't work in ranges. Yeah. And if you think of every strategy out there, it is one of those. So what happens is a instrument will spend X% of the year doing that, X% of the year doing that, and X% of the year, wrong way around, doing something along those sorts of lines where it looks like it's doing one, then it looks like it's doing another, and then it just doesn't really do anything. But it's not a range, it's not a trend, it's just an absolute bloody mess, and you can't work out what the hell it's doing. There isn't a strategy that works in all 3 of those market conditions. So whatever you do with your strategy, you will put it in a back test and you will optimize it to get it profitable. Then you will look at why it's profitable and realize that it's profitable because the market was trending. So backtest that again in a range-bound market and you'll find it doesn't work. So I know what we'll do. We'll only use this strategy when the market is trending. How do you identify a trend? When the market is putting a new high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. We're in a trend. Oh, we just got into a range. So you put the strategy on when the market's trending and immediately the market turns range-bound and you go, scrap that. Shouldn't be using that trending strategy. I've just lost 3%, 5% of my account. Let's turn on the range-bound one. Oops, it started trending again. Crap. Turn off the range-bound one, go back into the trend-bound. Rinse, repeat, blown account. Why does that happen? Because you place an order in the market to tell them to remove some of your balance if you have got the wrong strategy. Which is the right strategy? Can you see into the future? No. How can you pick the right strategy? You can't. Stop losses. They blow accounts. That's basically the way it is. But like I've said before, give me any strategy that uses a stop loss that has half an edge. Remove the stop loss and just replace the stop loss with more positions, and it will suddenly become profitable. It doesn't matter what the strategy is. 90% of strategies use 5 indicators. You only need 2, a signal and a condition. The market has done X. When it does Y, let's get in and see if A or B happens. If A happens, deal with it. If B happens, take the money and put it in the bank. That's trading. That's as simple as it gets. And that is what everybody needs to do. But you're going to get it wrong more than 50% of the time. And if you use a stop loss, probably more than 70% of the time. Yeah. Look at these entries here. That one needed to get down to here. Didn't work. That one wanted to get down. Didn't work. That one wanted to get down. Looked like it was going to work. Failed. Yeah. But all 3 of those positions together, happy days. Why did it make money? Because we didn't tell the broker to take the money away from us. Yeah. It doesn't matter why that got in. I don't even know why it got in. It's probably because I just pressed that button. There you go. I've gone sell and I've also got a buy on. Which one's going to work? I don't care. If it goes down and makes 0.25%, I'll get out the short. If it goes up and makes 0.25%, I'll get out the long. If it goes up there and that one becomes profitable, the one that's in drawdown, I will get a new position on up there and wait for it to come down, and then I'll take that as well. Not rocket science, is it? What I'm not doing is saying if it goes up to there, take 1/4 of my money away. And this is what this EA is going to be able to do. If you've got a strategy that works, trade it. Yeah, just don't use the silly stop loss and reduce the risk down so that you're not losing a fortune every time you get it wrong, because you're going to get it wrong all the time. If the banks don't know which way it's going, what chance have you got? If Barclays dumped 50 million long today and HSBC dumped 500 million short, Barclays are going into drawdown. The bloke on Barclays' desk is going to be going, oh, Christ's sake, I've got to dig myself out of this for the next week now. I just stick 50 million in every day until HSBC run out of money. And then it'll go up and then I'll take it all off. And HSBC will go, oh, no. That's all it's doing. It's pushing and pulling as the volume of market orders from banks gets long and short, long and short. You can't time that. They can't time that. No strategy can time that. Not possible. Every reverse alert you get that works and you go, whoo, this is the holy grail. You'll find one that doesn't and you'll go, oh, it doesn't work, does it? Everything works and nothing works. But if someone has a stop loss strategy that they think works, stick it, let me know. I'd love to see it. I think it was US dollar CAD you were looking at this morning, ADR. It might have been that. Yes, that makes sense. That rings a bell. There we go. So US dollar CAD, that was the one. So I said, funny enough, I took the trade. Well, I didn't take the trade. The EA took the trade. So I said, look, if we get there and get a bounce, that looks perfect. What did it do? It got a bounce. We hit the level to the pip, market reversed. 5-minute time frame, we had a market reversal alert. There. I went short and then it went up. What did everybody with a stop loss do this morning? Another 1% of my account gone. What am I doing? Waiting. Have I lost? Have I won? Nope. But I'm still in the game. If that goes down, I win. If that goes up, I add and I win. But that was the one we looked at. Yeah, you're quite right. And look, it didn't work. It did work. But this is the thing. It did work. We got a bounce. But then it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Because of news. Now it's working. You can't control news. You can't control market movement. You can't control anything. You will have no control. So therefore, it's like trying to drive a car without a steering wheel. You can't do it. You've got accelerator pedals and brake pedals. You can go faster, you can go slower. Can't turn. You're on a train. on tracks. It's only going one way. You just need to wait. Two things I've learned from you, the indicator that puts in the support lines. I only want it for the past trades to automatically show up and for the pip count on the right and the new EA. Yeah. That's good. That's why I call him the GOAT. Now, goats own Lamborghinis. I haven't got a Lamborghini. I haven't even got a Porsche anymore. I've just literally got my Beamer now. I need to buy another car. But you notice on my website, you don't see any pictures of my cars. The only picture I've ever shown of my car is the one of it smashed to pieces where I got hit at 100 miles an hour head on. That's the only picture I've ever shown of my Porsche, which is no longer there. I used to trade stop loss strategies. Some months were good and some months would lose. Nothing consistent long term. No. Exactly. But this is the thing. If you the other way you can make stop loss strategies profitable is by running multiple strategies. Like I said, there's only 3 strategies you can have. So if you run a breakout strategy on one account, you run a range bound strategy on another account, and you run a trend-based strategy on another account, at every point in time, at least one, if not 2 of those strategies will make money. But one of them will lose money. And that's where risk management comes in. As long as the reward is set at a percentage increase per trade, that will work. Yeah. So you create a portfolio of strategies like quants do in the banks. Yeah. The quants are trading random movement to try and extrapolate money. And their random movement is based on risk reward. So it's exactly the same principle, except there's lots of calculations going on and they have prime liquidity. So they get in before everybody else. Can't really fail. If you want to place an order long at a specific price and there's 100 people ahead of you in the queue, if you have the ability to jump the queue, you are always going to make money because the people behind you are going to push the market up. So as soon as you buy, the market gets pushed up and you get out one tick higher. They can't not lose money. That's basically what quants do. We can't do that though, HFTs, because we don't have access to that sort of market. But all of their strategies are based on breakout, trend and mean reversion, because that's all there is. You just need a positive R ratio on every strategy. So when one of them is losing, one of them isn't making any money, the other one is. The overall profitability of that strategy, as long as this strategy is +2 and this strategy is -1, you have a +1 differential, you're profitable. That's it. Look at the 3 strategies I've got running. H1M5, it's done 6%. ADR reversals, done 14%. Hedging, done 34%. Think back to last year, if you were here, and when we were looking at all the strategies running on the VPS, we had months where the H1M5 and the H4M15 specifically was struggling like hell last year because H4 was just awful last year. It was just range, everything was just horribly range bound, wasn't it? You can't make money when it's going sideways for 2 months with anything, or if it's going parabolic for 2 months. There's nothing you can do about it. So when one of the strategies is struggling, the other one will work. And this is why they complement each other. ADR reversals is a fast in, fast out scalping strategy. Yeah. H1M5 is a longer swing strategy. Hedging couldn't give a monkey's which way the market goes. So if the market just goes up and down all the time, hedging will just bank money non-stop. If the market's going up fast, pulling back, and has got a nice market structure, ADR reversals makes money all the time. As long as there's no squeezes, H1M5 or H4M15 mean reversion works perfectly. If you get a market which is trending with beautiful market structure, with pauses in between, all 3 strategies work. But none of them work all the time. This is why I have negative months, because position trading doesn't work in a squeeze. That's the Achilles heel of this strategy. Every strategy has an Achilles heel. 90% of strategies' Achilles heel is the stop loss, because it just gets stopped out on random market movement. You have a whipsaw on the news, stopped out. Did you get the trade right? Yes. Why did you get stopped out? Because you put a line there that said take my money. So it did. Nothing wrong with your strategy. You just put an order in to say, just get me out if I'm wrong in the next 10 minutes. But in the next hour, if it goes down, don't bother getting me back in. Sounds stupid when you say it. But that's what you do, isn't it, with a stop loss strategy? It's ridiculous. But yeah, so there are stop strategies out there, I think, that will work. But unless you're going to run that type of approach, which people aren't interested in most of the time, you're going to find it difficult. And you've got to find something very, very robust, which means you can only trade the hourly timeframes. Forget M5. You won't find anything on M5 that works. Anything. You're trading chop. You're trading algorithmic chop. Look at the DAX on the 5-minute time frame today. Algorithmic chop. What's the market doing? It's selling 176.20. What's it doing? It's buying 175.80. There's no human beings involved today. Yeah. On that 5-minute time frame, every breakout trader is dead. Every trend trader is dead. Every mean reversion trader or range-bound trader has identified a range and has got one trade which is profitable today. Well done. Try and make that work long term. You can't. But if you look at the hourly time frame for the DAX, yeah, if you're a breakout trader, you haven't had a signal. If you're a trend trader, you haven't had a signal. If you're a mean reversion trader, you're looking at these levels. You haven't had a trade. Everything works on that time frame. Nothing works on low time frames because it's chop. There's no structure involved. You've got to be able to see what the market's doing. It's gone sideways for 2 days. Breakout traders laughing their heads off. But what did they get? A 1-hour move. And it took a day. You sat there for 2 days waiting for a 1-hour move in your direction. That's not profitable. Can't make money with 1 hour. Market's going to open in a minute. Should we have a watch the open? I wasn't planning to stay on this long, but I got into waffle mode. I used to trade stop loss. Oh yeah. The idea of stop loss is crazy. You believe you can predict the turning point in the market within half an ADR of error. Half an ADR is more than most people use. Yeah. Most people don't even know what ADR is. They use pips. So you find a strategy and the strategy says, go short when the moving average crossover happens. Use a 20 pip stop. They use a 20 pip stop on something that moves 400 pips a day and wonder why they get stopped out within 5 minutes. And then they use the same strategy on something that moves 30 pips a day and wonder why they never get stopped out, but they never actually make any money because they don't understand the average daily range of movement of instruments. Because all these people selling courses also do not understand how the market moves, which is why they talk in pips. Anybody that talks pips at you run a mile. They have no idea what they're talking about. Pointless. Apart from indices, because they have a points value, which people actually pay attention to, because those are the people that make money. They're trading futures usually. But then it's also kind of hard to believe that everyone using a stop loss is lying. But I found that hard to believe. But then show me someone that's using a stop loss that is proving they're making money. Dow's just suddenly gone pre-market. Not going to be any trades on the Dow today. Yeah, I mean, show me someone that's proving they've got a strategy that works using stops. I'd be all up for it if somebody could find me one. No trade on the NASDAQ, no trade on the S&P. Actually, there is a trade on the Dow. The Dow is actually the only one that has actually got an entry pre-market. So no trade on the NAS or the S&P. Pre-market ranges are too tight. Just too tight. But this is the thing, isn't it? There's so many people that also have strategies and then they publish results and then they vanish because the published results are curve fit to a current market condition. So you see these people who come out and publish backtest results. Then they set up a live account and they trade the live account for 3 months. They show you 3 months worth of figures. It's all very profitable because it's based on the strategy they've backtested over the last 6 months, and the market conditions this quarter haven't been different to the last 6 months. So of course the strategy works. Then all of a sudden, market conditions change. We go into a bear volatile or different market condition, and it all goes wrong. They vanish. There are EAs out there published that are long-term profitable over 6, 12 months. There's signals on the MQL5 marketplace that are profitable. Guess what? They don't use stop losses. I can prove my point until the cows come home, but nobody's ever shown me any proof of anybody that can do it a different way. And I've never seen it. But I mean, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Again, I talk about Tom Hugard because I respect him. He's a really good educator. He tells it like it is. He's no BS. But look at his month. Yeah, he's lost 100 grand in February. Uses stop losses. Constantly gets stopped out. Yeah, in this market condition. He's the last 3 weeks. I mean, I don't follow him, but I look into his Telegram channel every few days just to see what's going on. And I look at his P&Ls. I'm like, Jesus Christ. 90-point loss, 60-point loss, 40-point loss, 10-point win, 30-point loss. Stop losses. Trading 5-minute time frames. Exactly what we're doing here. But here we're trading a specific strategy that relies on momentum. This only works in momentum markets. It doesn't work in this. It's not working. $103 hedge locked in as a loss. Why? Because the market's got no momentum. It can't make money. But if you had a range-bound EA running, it'd be milking it. But every day we get a trend breakout, it would be dying. And unless you have a time machine, we don't know which way it's going, do we, every day? So S&P range is going to be tradable, I think, and so is the NASDAQ. So the 5-minute opening range breaks will be taken on those two. Dow is not going anywhere at the minute. On the hedging set file, are you scaling in every 3/4 of an ADR? Yeah, so that one is half an ADR. And the risk is 0.2, yeah. Yeah, so half an ADR scaling. Risk is 0.2% over half an ADR. With half an ADR scaling. So we're scaling into positions half an ADR apart. But that's obviously trading on the hourly charts. So, for example, we've gone short here. It's about to go long in 26 minutes. If that gives a reverse alert, it's going to go long. We've already got a buy on from there. What is this? CAD Swiss. See, this is... It's just in a nasty hedge at the moment. Can't... You know, this is the trouble, isn't it? We're not getting enough movement week by week. There's no swings going on, is there? 12 days. No swing. Just sideways. We are finally getting a swing move in. So when I get down to here, we'll get out of all these shorts. And we've got a long on from there. We're about to take a second long there. So the average long will be down here. And then as we get to this target and we push down, we'll get a third long on and we wait for that swing to reverse. And then we'll get out of the long. This is the problem with trading on the H1 time frame, which is why no one wants to do it, because it takes bloody ages. You're being stuff for weeks, especially at the moment. Obviously with the swaps, it's tough. Okay, so your 5-minute ORBs are in. So there's your 5-minute initial cash balance, the opening range. So NASDAQ will be taking break of the 5-minute range. Dow, we're already short. Like that, take my money line. What was that? Did I say something? Did I say take my money? I don't know what I'm saying. I ad-lib all of this, by the way. I should be a stand-up comic, shouldn't I? I can just ad-lib stuff. As long as I'm a stand-up comic about trading, I can't be funny about anything else. The only thing I can be funny about is people that sell trading courses and drive Lamborghinis. Well, don't drive Lamborghinis. Rent Lamborghinis to have a photo taken to put on a website to sell you a course. Those are the only people I find funny. NASDAQ looks like it wants to try and break long, but no momentum yet. Look at the DAX. Literally, we are in the middle of this morning's opening range. Unbelievable. Well, it's not unbelievable, is it? It's what we get at the moment, isn't it? Afternoon, Hamza. So we'll just see if we get a break of this opening range. S&P's going long, thinking about it. Nope. Oh, stop loss, take my money line, yeah. Yeah. It is, though. That is basically what it is. It's a stop profit. They shouldn't call it a stop loss. They should call it stop profit. Because that's what it does. It stops you making a profit. Doesn't it? It stops you making a loss, but it also stops you making a profit. Yeah. The market's going to move up and down after you press the button to get in, while it's deciding which way it wants to go when there's enough momentum from whatever bank has got enough momentum to drive the market in whatever direction it wants to drive it in. Putting a line on the chart that says, take my money if the banks aren't ready for me to make some money, is exactly what you're doing. You're asking them to stop you making a profit if it doesn't happen immediately. That's basically what you're saying. Right. I'm going to go short now. If it moves up in the next 5 minutes, get me out. It's going to move up in the next 5 minutes. Look at it. It's moving up and down literally every second. Why would you put an order in to say if it moves up a little bit more than it's moved up at the moment, I don't want to be in you anymore? What it does, the market hunts liquidity. Liquidity as at the places it turned last time. The market wanted to drive long because there was enough orders to go, and then there wasn't. So the liquidity changed direction there. They pushed up to find some more liquidity, pushed down to find more liquidity, pushed up to find more liquidity, pushed down to find more liquidity. They're getting orders filled all the time using the liquidity of other traders who have the opposing opinion or the opposing order sitting on their bank's desk. That's all it does. And yet you put an order there to say, I know the last time it went there. So if they decide that there's a little bit more orders long today than there was yesterday, get me out the market. It's nuts. But that's what we're all taught, because we're all taught to risk. And it's not, stop losses aren't the problem, I don't think. The problem is we're all taught to risk 1% or 2% of our account every time we press the button. That's the problem. Banks and institutions do not risk 1% of their account when they press the button. If Barclays is sitting on $10 billion worth of a trading portfolio on a desk, they are not risking 100 million on a button press. Of course they're not. You've got to trade the way they trade, because you're riding their market, their movement. So if you don't trade the way that they trade, you're not going to make it, are you? Greg Secker hasn't got a Lambo. He's got a Rolls Royce and a McLaren and multiple houses and jets, if you believe that. Have you ever seen him in the same car twice? Have you ever seen him in front of the same jet twice? Have you ever? I've seen him in his house. Well, I've seen him inside his house, and I've seen him in his garden, because he taught his gardener to trade. He's still his gardener. That worked out well. I rent a Lambo this week. Made a video with the car, bid gold watches, and show you the strategy that will make millions. Yeah, it does make millions. ICT came out and said he made more money selling his education than he did trading. Well, we know that because he never made any money trading, because he never traded. But what these people do, Those that can do, those that can't teach. Very well-known saying. Very true in this industry, isn't it? LMT, Lee's Millions Trading. Yeah. I'll use a stop once I'm in profit by a certain percentage. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with using a stop to stop you losing profit. A stop loss that stops you losing profit is fine, but it will stop you making profit. Yeah. I've said it in here many times. Yeah. We're short, right? On this now. If this moves down to here and you want it to get to here, and that's my entry. If you place a stop loss there, the market will come up, it will stop you out, and then it will go down to your target because you've put a stop profit in place. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you realize it's not going to allow your potential trade to play out. Long the S&P, long the DOW, NASDAQ. I've got a funny feeling this is going to play out exactly the same as the DAX this morning, though. Which is why I'm only looking for 1R moves at the moment. If we could get a 1R off of an opening range, I'm having it. At the minute, this market is just far too rotational. And again, you know, things like this, adjusting your strategy because you identify the market isn't going anywhere. Nothing wrong with that. But you've got to make that decision. There isn't an EA or a strategy out there that does this. The strategy I've been trading is 2R, 5R for TP1 and TP2. It's not hitting. So I've decided to go for TP1 and TP3, TP1 and TP2 at 1R and 3R. I've adjusted it because the market conditions are too contracted. When all of a sudden I see 3 days in a row me hitting 1R and 3R, 1R and 3R, and it running off to 5R every day, I will switch back to a wider range. But at the moment, we're not getting it. There isn't an EA that can do that. You've got to be able to identify what's going on, haven't you? Madonna's waiting, by the way, with her... you're on Telegram, aren't you? I don't use Telegram anymore. Not sure about that. Not good, is it? Poor old Madonna. There's the material girl. And there's the girl made of material. Bless. But we are seeing you in the same devil's chair every day. Yeah, exactly. I can afford a Lamborghini chair. Diablo. Diablo. I have got a Diablo. It's just not a Lamborghini Diablo. NASDAQ's rejecting the long break at the minute. MQL5 says you have sold over 10,000 products with them. Why? I don't know. I doubt that. Demos, yeah. If I'd have sold 10,000 products, do you think I'd be sitting here? What's the maths on that? That's $500,000. I'm assuming they're only selling at 49. Is that right? 10,000 times 490,000. I had to do the maths again on that twice. No, it's not true. Where does it say that? I've never seen that before. No, you can't sell 10,000 products. That will be... I would imagine they've used the word sold and replaced downloaded. Demos, yes. Downloaded versions of products. But yeah, no. Not in 2 years. I would definitely be having a Lamborghini if that was the case. And I can tell you I wouldn't have a mortgage the size I've got. Poor gardener, I wonder if he got paid for the ad. I'm sure he did get paid for the ad, and I'm sure he probably wasn't even his gardener. It's all manufactured, isn't it? If you wear eye makeup doing your videos, you know it's all manufactured. What am I hiding? Are you making money selling indicators and EAs? I am making money selling indicators and EAs. Yeah, of course I am. I'm certainly not making $500,000 worth. That would be nice. I think you'd need a pretty big marketing budget to get enough people. I don't think there's enough people. Can you imagine what the Telegram group would be like, or the YouTube channel would be like if I'd sold 10,000 products? I would have thousands of people, wouldn't I? That would be good. I certainly wouldn't be doing this for a living if I'd done that. Can you imagine? Well, I probably could. I have thought about going into education, but I become the thing I hate then, don't I? Which is people selling courses. If you were paying me to educate you, and I was earning enough money out of selling education materials and stuff that I didn't need to trade, I wouldn't take anywhere near as much care about what I taught you, because it doesn't affect me, does it? Yeah, when you've got skin in the game, and you know, why would I do drawdown control on something that okay, let's just see if it plays out, because it's not real. You wouldn't. And this is what I think probably is where the problem is in a lot of education, isn't it? The people that are teaching it, they couldn't give a monkeys if it works or not. It doesn't matter, does it? They're selling you something. They're selling you a thing, which is a repackaged thing that they've learned for an amount of money, which is probably less than they paid for it originally, so that they can sell it multiple times. But they couldn't care less if it worked. It doesn't make any difference to them, does it? Whether or not, when whatever happens, works or not. It doesn't matter, does it? Because it's irrelevant. NASDAQ's going to hedge by the looks of things. Hedged on the NAS. Not quite. Nearly. See that? It's not off the screen, is it? Is that just the Lambo back and you're sitting on a wooden crate? No, it's a real chair. I showed it. Somebody asked me who it is. It's Diablo. So it's Diablo chairs. Somebody asked me for a link to it the other day, and there you go. So that's not my one. My one's in here. There you go. You can't buy them in the UK. You can, but you have to get them on Amazon, and they're really rare because these guys only ship to Europe, unfortunately. But it's the Diablo X Horn. He is. Very comfortable. I've had this chair for a number of years, and it's, you know, chairs get worn out and awful, and just like, this is still really squidgy. It's a squidgy chair. I haven't got triggered into a hedge on the DAX, the NASDAQ yet. There's no momentum breakout again today. Painful, isn't it? I have a stop loss strategy. Actually passed. I funded with it. I'm not disputing that. I can pass. I passed proper valuations with my stop loss strategy. Won't last, but it will pass evaluations. Anybody can have a lucky run. Yeah, you only need 3 trades to pass an evaluation. 3. Very easy. Yeah, you risk 2%. Yeah, you go 1.5R. You go 2% on the next one, 1.5R. 2% on the next one, 1.5R. Passed. Only 3 trades. The rest of the month, none of them will work, but you only need 3. And as you said, yeah, basically took the opposite trade of the opening range breakout with a half an ADR stop loss. Yeah. So what are the odds of the opening range breakout strategy working? Why did your strategy work? Because it's 50-50. Yeah, it's either going to break with momentum or it's not going to break with momentum. It's exactly the same. This is what I'm saying. With the ADR, we were talking about this the other day in the live room. With the ADR reversal strategy, 125 weekly range, US dollar CAD's coming down hard. Look at this US. No, Canadian dollar rallying like crazy. It's Wednesday. Oil. I don't think it's out yet. $3.30. We've got another 40 minutes. But Canadian dollar is rallying at the moment. They may well be rallying into tomorrow's figures. So they may be anticipating, this is probably the market pricing in a positive GDP number, maybe. But yeah, we were talking about this the other day in the live room with the ADR reversal strategy. You know, so let's take Euro odd, for example. Look at this. So if you take Euro odd today, yeah, we hit ADR. So what's the ADR reversal strategy? Mean reversion on extension. Yeah, so it's a stretched market that pulls back. We're looking for the profit take move off of the bank's initial rally. But what is this? A breakout. What is it today? A breakout. So if you take the ADR strategy and call it an ADR reversal strategy, you are mean reverting it. If you call it an ADR breakout strategy, you buy it. What are the odds at that level of that happening or that happening? 50-50. Yeah. H1 RSI extension. Buy it. Would have worked beautifully. Also would have worked beautifully. Why? Because the market goes up and down. Doesn't matter, does it? You're pressing a button based on a condition and a signal. What happens after the condition and the signal is random and a 50-50 chance whether it goes your way or it doesn't go your way. So you can trade any strategy in any direction. You know, this is what people keep saying. Oh, he's got a strategy. On this signal service, it's absolutely crap. It's got a 40% strike rate. It's rubbish. All right, I'll take the opposite side of the trade. Oh, I'm still not making money. How can the signal service not make money and the person taking the opposite trade to the signal service not make money? Because the market moves up and down and stops both of them out. Doesn't matter what you do. ADR is the market moving beyond its average daily range. Why? Because it's bloody strong. But it's now hit 150% of its average daily range. It's also bloody tired. Which is it going to do? What do we need to find out? One of these. We ain't got one. Time machine. So trade whatever you want in any direction you want. This is why in the new EA, I haven't done it yet. I haven't even figured the logic out, but putting in a setting on it, breakout on mean reversion. And if you select breakout when it hits ADR, it will go long. If you select mean reversion when it hits ADR, it will go short. Both strategies are either going to work or fail. And if it doesn't, you turn it into a position trade. So if you take the breakout here, and it is actually a mean reversion today, you go long again and assume that the breakout is a leg up in a second leg. There's a second leg coming after the leg. If you take the breakout short, it's exactly the same as what we do at the moment. We go short again. Now it's super extended. Got a profit take coming. Doesn't matter which you take, does it? This is why I keep saying it doesn't matter whether you trade with my indicators, my EAs, my strategies, or you trade anything. As long as you don't use a stop loss and you turn your trading into position methodology, everything works. You just wait. All we're doing is we're waiting for the market. We're not timing the market because you can't. I don't know when this is coming back down again. I haven't got a clue. I know that the Australian dollar, as I said this morning, is likely to be weak because of those numbers we had with CPI. But I don't know. It could totally undo its move tomorrow. No clue. This isn't going anywhere again today. stagnant. It's the only word I can describe this market at the moment. I decided to try that out simply because I witnessed so many hedge positions occurring on different days. Yeah. So those days where David's taken the opposite to the ORB because we've got hedged, yeah, he wins. The days where the ORBs work, he loses. If the market spends 50% of its time breaking out and 50% of its time not breaking out, we both win. The Mount one is to do with the risk-reward ratio, not the strategy. Because the strategy will do whatever the hell the strategy wants to do every day, won't it? On your profile page, it says sold, yes, 10,000 products, which is quite misleading. It is. I agree. I haven't even looked at that. I didn't even know that existed. I'll have a look. Or 1 million people at 1% sales. Your live room is more educational than the course. Good. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'll have a look at that. I mean, it can't be sales. Can't be sales. If it was sales, I want to know where all the money's gone because I haven't got it. That would be nice. That's more than I earn a year trading, which is what Greg Secker does. Anyway, right. So I'm going to leave it there today. Hedges on these today. I'm not hedged on the S&P and I'm not hedged on the Dow. So assuming these two become clean breaks, obviously going for 1R and 3R, the downside there. The hedge on this 3R is within ADR. Let me just check that is set to 3R. Yeah, so that is 3R. God, that looks longer than 3R. These ADRs are really contracted at the moment. Yeah, look at that, blimey. So 5R to the downside is 125 ADR. 5R to the upside is the same. So I'm looking basically at a move above yesterday's high and ADR to the downside. Nothing much you can do with it. I suspect we're going to do this. So what I will do is I'm going to move my TPs to the upside on the NASDAQ down to yesterday's high. So the pre-market high today is basically high of the day today and yesterday's high. And to the downside, I'm just coming up within ADR. The reason for that is these highs here. So we've got a definite level that market wasn't willing to get through, which is that previous low. So we hit that level, tested it, tested, dropped. So that is the strongest support resistance I can see. It's not very clean at all, but it is also ADR. So it means that if we got down to that level, we're getting close to the average range we would do in a day, which is exhaustion. I doubt it's going to undo this lot today, is it? There's no momentum. So so that's downside target on the NAS. So upside target is yesterday's high. Downside target is ADR. The other two, just have to see what happens with them. But if we do hedge on them, upside I would leave where it is, which for me is 3R, which is shy of ADR. That level there is also going to be resistive. So if it does break high enough and it bangs through that level, you're going to hit ADR and you're going to hit resistance at the previous day's low. Downside, it's that highlight, which is again ADR, but that's only 2R to the downside. So if it hedges, it's got to push all the way back up there and then it will push back down. So I would look for this high but obviously we'll see if it hedges. At the moment, it doesn't look like it is. And S&P, upside target would be just shy of ADR. Downside target looks pretty good, 3R. So that's what I'm targeting today. I'm assuming that we're going to have a tight rotation day, which is why I'm using these 3R ranges. These days, you know, when you get a NVIDIA earnings release, you know, these days are just not happening at the moment. This is what's happening at the moment. Yeah. We're just not getting the movement, are we? So tight ranges, small targets, in and out as fast as possible. But waste of time today again. Same with the DAX, stuck in the inside range. Look, inside opening range is there. We haven't left it all day. It's ridiculous. Thumbs up, everybody. Yep. Am I the only one that thumbs up? I don't know. I'm going to check up on you. $30 thumbs up. We've got 60 people. That's roughly half. I'll let you have that. We did have 87 people in there, so it should really be more than that. Anyway, nobody thumbs me up. That sounded wrong. Right, so everything else that's going on at the moment, just managing. The overnight news, we've got retail sales tonight. We've also got ore speaking, but we did have the press conference this morning, so it's unlikely ore is going to say anything here that we didn't get in the press conference, so you don't really need to worry about that one. Retail sales for the Australian dollar tomorrow morning are going to be important, so be careful of that one. Any Australian dollar you've got, you might want to bank it. However, the forecast is for retail to go up. If that is not as high as that, we're going to get more money down. Thank you for the tip, whoever that is. Alex, thanks very much. I think that's the first tip I've ever had. I think you may be my first ever tipper. I've only been doing this 2 years. Thank you for the $5. I shall go and buy a pint. No, I won't, because that's probably a half. But thank you anyway. Let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. I don't know what that button even does. Hey, you're making firsts here. I've not done this before. But thank you. That's very kind. Sorry, it's throwing me off now. So basically watch out for this retail sales tomorrow. Any Australian dollar. So basically the same process as yesterday. Anything I've got that's sitting in big profit ahead of the news. So just before market close tonight, that comes down there. That comes down there. Anything that's in profit on the Australian dollar comes down here because it will either disappear and I won't be able to spend it, or it will go further into profit, which means that these two positions which are in drawdown also become profitable and go down there. So bank it if you've got it ahead of news, because if you lose it, you won't get it back easily. But if it goes against you and you've banked that, you can add it back on. I should really do this while I'm actually looking at the pair so you understand what the hell I'm talking about. So this position here, yeah, is the one I'm talking about. It's in profit at the moment by $250. So this evening, if we're still sitting here, that comes down there. If the Australian dollar news is positive, i.e. retail sales go through the roof, it flies up and I add the position back on again and then wait for the mean reversion to take it off again. So I don't just bank it once, I bank it twice. Yeah. If the position goes my way, yes, I will have made more money on that one and I closed it too early. However, this one and this one and this one will all go into profit and they also go down there. Yeah. So it's a win-win situation. You cannot make a bad decision by banking money. Not possible. Yeah. So anything you got that is sitting there, Aussie, get it in the bank. Same goes for all accounts, basically. I don't think I've got anything on the Aussie. Pound yen. Pound Swiss. I've not got a lot of Aussie exposure on. Not sure I want to be long Aussie US. Okay. And hedging as well. Aussie dollar, Euro Swiss, CAD yen, Aussie. Oh, that's the wrong account. Hedging. I was going to say, there's not many positions on. Where are they all gone? Aussie dollar yen. So that one there will come down this evening. Possibly Aussie CAD. Bear in mind, this is $50 and $70. $75 on this discount is 0.5%. That's worth banking. 0.5%. Other than that, New Zealand dollar yen. The New Zealand dollar will also move off the back of the Australian dollar and vice versa. So it's worth banking New Zealand as well if you want to. Nothing wrong with banking money at the end of the day. You can always stick it back on again. That's about it. So there's a potential sort of what's that? Kind of $100. So somewhere in the region of 2% more to bank on that one. But we'll see where we are at the end of the day. So. Champagne, thanks for the other $5. That's a good idea, Alex. Let's donate for the Lambo. Keep it going. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. That's $10. I can actually buy a pint. Look at his smile. I've gone from having nobody ever tip me to having 2 tips in one day. Thank you very much. So let's just look at what a new Lambo costs. So I've got $10. I'm going to need 237,848. So we are $237,838 short. So if you could all just pop that in there, I will buy a Lamborghini, and then I will take a lovely photo of it outside my house, and then I will make a new course, and I will give it away to you for free. Not much point in telling 55 people that. You're all going to have to donate about 50 grand each, aren't you? But anyway, thanks for that. 2 years waiting list for a new Lambo. Really? Okay. This is why I buy second-hand Porsches. First of all, they're cheap, they're fast, and they're fun. That's 3, not the first thing. But also, there's no waiting list because there's an absolute deluge of them out there. I've never spent more than 35 grand on a car. The most expensive Porsche I've ever bought was a 996, which was 35 grand. 911. Don't need to spend more than that. They all do the same thing. One that's 150 grand goes as fast as the one that's 35 grand. They're both Porsches. They're both amazingly fun to drive. Not that you can drive them in the UK because our speed limits don't let you get out of second gear. But anyway, thought feeder, 2 pints. Thank you very much. Has everybody just found... Where is this button you're pressing, guys? There's a new button appeared that I don't know about somewhere. I can't even see a tip button. Where are you finding these tip buttons? But thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. Although, I don't know how you're doing it. There's obviously a button somewhere. Look, everybody's appearing in here. Thought feeder, thank you very much. That's very kind. But really, you don't have to. It's very nice. So that's a pint. 2 pints. I can get 2 pints with that. Just about. It's about £4 a pint in the UK. £8. Definitely 2 pints. Might even be able to get a packet of peanuts. That'd be fantastic. I do this for YouTube on YouTube for free. Yes, I deserve it. I know I do. Oh, and Steve, look, come on, guys. No, you don't have to keep doing this. This is 4 pints now. Thank you very much, Steve. Very much appreciated. And Peter, look. Oh, my God. Guys, I don't know what to say. Everybody has suddenly decided to tip me, and I don't know how to handle it because nobody's ever done it before. But everybody's doing it on the same day. I haven't got enough thumbs up, look, that I can press. I'm trying to press the thumbs up button on all of these. Thank you very much for the tips. Very much appreciated. I can't grab it. Where is this button? I'm going to have to look. I'm going to have to go onto someone else's channel and see if I can find this button because I'm going to start promoting it. You just super chatted. It's super chat, is it? I don't even know what it is. Keep the points coming. Yeah, definitely keep the points coming. Thank you very much for that, guys. The cash icon on the right. Oh, that. Show your support. Ah. I see. I can't do it to myself, but yeah, I get it. I see the button now. Baggy, thank you very much. I hope the taxman won't make the most of it from you. Yeah, okay, see. Let's work this out. So I've got to take 40% off of these tips, guys. So unfortunately, the Lambo fund has just dropped by about $15. Thank you, Baggy. That's very much appreciated. £10. And David, another $5. Thank you very much. Guys, I've got to stop doing this because otherwise I'm never going to get off the chat. But thank you. That's much appreciated. I'm going to have to like all of your things because there we go. Hopefully I'm liking everybody's things, but thank you for that. I'm going to have to go and I'm going to have to pin this stream now, aren't I? Because hopefully this will encourage everybody to do it every day. Not that I want you to do it every day. Don't do it every day. Go make some money. That's really what I want you all to do. I think, to be honest, maybe of us have wanted to buy you a pint for ages. Thank you. I've started an avalanche. You have, Alex. Thank you for starting the avalanche. It's much appreciated. Where can I find the Discord channel? It's on the website. At the top there. In the chat. So moved. I haven't moved over to Discord. I'm trying to move over to Discord mainly because of the scammers. There's just people scamming non-stop. So far, touch wood, nobody has been scammed in Discord or has messaged me to say that they have had anybody scamming them in Discord. So I'm hoping that it's less scammy, but I honestly don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, so I'm trying to move over to Discord. Discord is much better organized. Although I have to say people are posting stuff in the wrong channels. But there's nothing you can do about that. So, you know, there's a channel for everything. But people just tend to stick stuff in the channel that's being used all the time, which is fine. Yeah, so there's lots of different channels in there for all the indicators. And, you know, that should tell you how many indicators I've sold. There's nobody talking in them. Yeah, that's how many I sell. I think I'd be lucky to make 10,000 a decade. Put it that way. So that's definitely a download figure. There's a lot of downloads. I can see how many downloads there are, and there's definitely 10,000 downloads. I might actually do the maths on that and see if I can figure that out. That would make sense. It's a sales tactic, I'd imagine, from MQL5, isn't it? Every time someone downloads something, notch it up to make it look like the product is popular. I don't know. Oh, look at that. I've never even noticed. I don't look at it. I don't look at my profile. But yeah, so Discord channel's there. I'm trying to get that. Once that's up and running and the Telegram is getting very little use, I'm basically just going to lock the Telegram group so that people can't post in it and just use it as a channel to push information out, but not as a discussion channel. It's much better having discussion in Discord. But some people, I understand, have Telegram, want to use Telegram, so I'll keep it there. But as soon as you mention anything in Telegram, somebody's spamming you and scamming you, and people are getting scammed, and I just want to stop it. So hence the move. But anyway, but thank you very much for that, guys. Very much appreciated. Are you going to be nice to the people in the chat now? Dougal, no, I'm never going to be nice to you. Maybe stupid. Why do you come here? Why do people go to dominatrixes to get whipped? Because they like it. If I start being nice, no one will be here. If I start telling you all that you should be using a stop loss and you're not stupid, then you will carry on losing money. I'm not that nasty, come on. I just have no patience for certain questions, normally relating to ICT. What did I see the other day? Oh, sorry, I'm trying to go. You've thrown me by giving me those tips, which is very nice. I saw something on ICT. Oh, yes, there's an indicator on the MQL5 marketplace, because every now and again I go through the marketplace and just have a look at stuff just to see what stuff's out there, basically. And there is an indicator on there called Order Block Breaker Indicator stroke ICT. Yeah. So the name of it is Order Block Breaker Indicator ICT. Order Block is his copyright, apparently. ICT, you're not allowed to use his name. And if you mention anything to do with anything like that, he sues you. And somebody's put an indicator up on the marketplace, which basically is all of his concepts in one. So I'm going to copy it and send it off to ICT, because he loves to sue people for defamation of character, although he does all the stuff on YouTube that is naughty, but he likes to have a go at other people. So I thought I'd drop that person in it. Anyway, I was meant to mention that at the beginning of the stream, but are you going to be nice to people? Yeah, I've already mentioned that. Since trading with you, I've been so profitable. $10 is nothing compared to what you've taught me. Fantastic. I noticed in your Discord there is a non-trading chat channel that's full of stuff to do with trading. I know, this is the problem. So so people are posting things in the Market Reverse Alerts Indicator channel about the Market Reverse Alerts EA. Fine. In the backtesting channel, people are talking about brokers. In the non-trading chat channel, people are just talking about trading. And nobody's talking about anything else anywhere else. So I thought I'll organize everything so it's nice and easy to keep everything clean and concise, and everybody needs to find anything about anything. They can just go to that one channel and learn everything they need. But no, everybody's just putting everything in the non-trading chat. But I think it's because nobody knows really where to put anything. But we'll see how it goes. I might just get rid of a load of chat. If people aren't using them, I'll get rid of them all and we'll just have one big channel. But it would be nice to have different strategies discussed in different channels, because people are doing different things. So can you make a general chit chat channel so we can talk about you when you're away? Well, that's what the non-trading chat is. To talk about me and ICT. I don't know. If we will give you a $5 every stream, will you come back every day 8 and 2:30? My days are empty without streams. I am still doing the streams every day though, Peter. It's not, I haven't cut it down that much, have I? I'm trying to cut it down because I want to set up some kind of mentoring system, but I'm struggling to do it because of time. And I'm struggling to find out how to do it cheaply because I don't want to charge people a fortune. What you've just done today is brilliant. That's more than enough. What I'm trying to do is trying to stop the people that are trying to freeload and don't want to do this and want to do different things from access to me, to stop wasting my time. That's the trouble. It's a time drain, this. I don't mind doing streams. I love doing streams because I'm trading anyway. I might as well be here. I'm watching this thing go up and down constantly because I'm in it. I'm hedged on the Dow. So the Dow trades are in place. S&P is breaking long, which is good. So Dow, I'm just going to move up. Targets there. So I'm doing this every day anyway. It's just I spend so much time, I'm just going to leave that where it is, answering stupid questions. That's what I'm trying to stop. And I think it's people that come into here and they go off and they just try and do everything without reading or watching. But I don't really know how to do it, to be honest. So it's like the restaurant where the waitress abused you verbally. Yeah, Karen's. I've been there. It's fantastic. It's the funniest thing I've ever been to. I took the kids there with my wife to Karen's. And they basically, as soon as you get in, she was like, what do you want? Got a booking. You're early. And threw our menus on the floor, expected us to pick them up. And she was like, go and sit down at your table. We don't know which table it is. You'll find it. It's so funny. And the waitresses are so rude. But yeah, if you ever want to go to a Karen's, do it. It's brilliant. Can you cover BTC and gold before you go? Yes? No. We don't do that because I haven't got it. You could start another YouTube channel of you verbally abusing us. I could do. Do you think people would pay for that? So I'll set up a subscription channel, and when you come in, I'm just going to abuse you constantly. I bet people would pay. People will pay for anything. It doesn't matter what you do. Someone will pay for it. It's bizarre, isn't it? What people pay for. Anyway, some volatility just come in there. Just saw the S&P flick up and down. Nothing particularly exciting. Right, so I'll leave it there. Karens of trading, yeah. I should set up a new website called Karen's Trading. How long have you been trading? 1 month. McDonald's. How much money have you got to trade with? $500. McDonald's. You're never going to make it. You're just not going to make it. How much money have you got? 10 grand. Right, give me 5 of that, and I will teach you how to blow the other 5. McDonald's. That's the channel, isn't it? Karen's McDonald's Employees Trading Education Channel. That's what I'm going to set up. And I'm going to charge everybody $100 a day. It's not going to be cheap. You're going to learn a lot. Mainly not what to do, but what not to do, rather. That'd be a good one. Anyway, that's not going to work, is it? Right. I will leave it there. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7. Sorry, no, I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock for the Swiss GDP. And we've got CAD GDP tomorrow afternoon at 1:15. So we'll be back on at 1:15 tomorrow afternoon as well. And we will have a look at the fallout of the CAD GDP and the US unemployment, which is at 1:30. So just to remind, Aussie dollar overnight, make sure you bank any Aussie dollar stuff. We've also got a bit of Euro news tomorrow with the preliminary CPIs for Germany. But those are your main news events tomorrow, which we will focus on. And then Friday is a little bit dull. All right, so have a good day. Thanks again for the tips. Very much appreciated. I shall spend those on Friday. I don't even know how to get paid. How do you get paid those? Suddenly, you've just suddenly put money into the world of YouTube, and I have no idea how I get it. I have got an AdSense account. I assume it goes into AdSense. I'll have to check that. I'll let you know. I'll have to Google that one. I suddenly realised. Thanks very much for the non-existent money. Why is it not coming out my monitor? Right, so I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. Have a good day. Anything you need, I'll be in Telegram and Discord. Other than that, I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.